How much power does speech truly hold? Can the art of persuasion lead you to the truth, or does it pull you into the darkness? In this video, we'll dive into Plato's dialogue, Gorgias, where Socrates clashes with the greatest orators of his time. Together, we'll uncover how rhetoric, justice, and truth intertwine in a fascinating game of ideas that remains just as relevant today. The scene begins with Socrates approaching the renowned orator Gorgias. His question is simple but profound. What is rhetoric? Gorgias answers with confidence. Rhetoric is the art of speech that can persuade anyone about anything. But Socrates isn't satisfied with that. With his trademark style, he starts to unravel the thread. Is it really an art? Or just a way to defeat objections without ever getting to the truth? As the conversation unfolds, Socrates challenges Gorgias to admit that the rhetoric he teaches isn't concerned with justice or truth. It only cares about one thing: the result. Convincing, impressing, prevailing. Gorgias starts to feel the pressure. He tries to argue that rhetoric is useful because it can persuade an audience. But Socrates sees beyond his words. He sees a world where superficial persuasion becomes more important than uncovering the truth. This discussion isn't just a philosophical game. It speaks directly to us today. How many times have we believed someone simply because they knew how to impress us? How often have we set aside the truth because we were swept up by the rhythm and confidence of someone who knew how to talk to us? Socrates, with his devotion to the truth, doesn't leave any gap. He insists that anything not based on knowledge and justice, no matter how impressive it may seem, is hollow. The gift of rhetoric, he says, becomes dangerous when it doesn't have truth as its foundation. And he leaves us with the challenge: never settle for appearances alone. Always search for what truly lies beneath. The question remains: is rhetoric a useful tool or a weapon of deception? The answer isn't simple. It's the starting point for a conversation that continues to this day. A conversation that calls us to look beyond the words and search for what's really hidden behind them. Continuing the discussion, Socrates poses the big question: what's the difference between the power of persuasion and the pursuit of truth? Rhetoric, he says, has the ability to influence people's minds, but that doesn't necessarily mean it leads to real knowledge. Even Gorgias himself admits that speech can persuade people of things that aren't right if the speaker knows how to present them. And this is where Socrates becomes sharper. He argues that there is a huge difference between persuading and telling the truth. Persuasion without knowledge is like a mask. Beautiful, impressive, but empty. This brings us to today. How often do we encounter people who know how to speak beautifully, yet behind their words, there is nothing true? Persuasion, as Socrates sees it, can be dangerous when it becomes a tool in the hands of someone who doesn't care about substance. It's like having a sword that can cut, but whether it's used for good or harm depends on the hand that holds it. The dilemma that Plato presents through Socrates is timeless. What has more value, the ability to influence or the honesty of truth? As the discussion progresses, Socrates invites Gorgias to see the responsibility behind words. It's not just a matter of technique, it's a matter of ethics and soul. And this dilemma doesn't only concern Gorgias, it concerns us too. Because all of us every day are called to decide: will we be content with the power of words, or will we search for the substance hidden beneath them? As the conversation moves forward, Polus enters the scene, a young man who represents the voice of political power. Polus sees rhetoric as the ultimate tool to establish one's authority. He believes that leaders must know how to persuade, regardless of whether what they're saying is true or not. This, he argues, is the reality of politics. Speech is used as a weapon to gain and maintain power. Socrates, however, disagrees. For him, Politics should not be a game of impressions and interests. The true leader, he says, is not defined by how cleverly he speaks, but by how much he serves the common good. Rhetoric without values is like a ship without a compass. It may travel far, but never with certainty. The clash between Socrates and Polus highlights a central question. Can power coexist with virtue? Or does power inevitably corrupt those who hold it? Socrates firmly believes that only when power is linked with justice and truth can it bring prosperity and balance. This dilemma remains alive even today. In a world full of political promises and rhetorical excess, Socrates' voice calls on us to wonder, who are the leaders that truly inspire us? Are they the ones who know how to impress, or those who care about substance and the common good? The conversation with Polus doesn't provide easy answers, but it leaves us with a valuable message. Real politics begins when the voice of power is accompanied by the virtue of the soul. As the dialogue deepens, Socrates turns his attention to the question of justice and true benefit. For many, justice seems like something relative, a set of rules that change depending on who holds power. But Socrates insists that justice isn't a tool to be molded to anyone's advantage. It is a principle rooted in the very nature of the soul and in the pursuit of what is good. The conversation heats up when Socrates argues that whatever is truly beneficial for a person is what leads them to virtue. Any personal interest, no matter how tempting it seems, if it goes against virtue, can never bring happiness. For Socrates, true benefit isn't wealth or fame, but inner balance and justice. This perspective stands in stark contrast to the rhetoric taught by Gorgias. Gorgias sees benefit in practical terms, as success, prestige, and power. But Socrates looks deeper. The essence is not how you appear in the eyes of others, but who you really are. At this point in the dialogue, Socrates reminds us that justice and goodness are inseparably connected. Justice isn't just a law, it's a way of life. It's the way you choose to behave, even when no one is watching. The message is clear. True happiness comes from moral integrity and from being honest with ourselves. This is the foundation of justice and the cornerstone of any society that wants to be truly fair. In the final part of the dialogue, Socrates focuses on something that goes beyond the art of speech and the struggle for power. He focuses on the soul itself and what path leads to true happiness. The question he poses is simple yet fundamental. What does it mean to live a good life? For Socrates, the good life isn't measured by material standards. It's not about how rich you are or how much others admire you. It's about the harmony within you, whether your soul is pure and full of virtue. Caring for the soul is for him the highest duty of every person. As he speaks, it becomes clear that he sees life as a constant exercise. Just as the body needs exercise to stay strong, the soul needs continuous cultivation. This cultivation isn't easy. It requires self-awareness, honesty, and the courage to admit your mistakes. Socrates' position challenges us to rethink our own choices. Do we live to impress others, or to stay true to who we really are? Do we just want to be heard, or do we want to have substance? The dialogue ends without giving us an easy answer, but it leaves us with the feeling that true happiness is something deep, something earned through the effort to become better every day. Socrates shows us that caring for the soul isn't a luxury. It's the only path truly worth following. As we reach the end of this journey, let's hold on to Socrates' reminder. True power lies in truth and in our inner balance. This is the challenge he leaves us with, to look beyond words and always seek what's real. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like. It helps us keep going and reach more people. Leave a comment too. Your thoughts matter to us. And if you'd like to see more videos like this, hit that subscribe button. Your support makes all the difference and gives us the strength to keep creating. Thank you for being here with us. Until the next video, remember, the truth is our greatest tool.